not sure that there is a natural environment for horses now. Perhaps on the plains of America, Canada and Australia, where they've got huge land tracts that horses live in. Most of them are farmed herds in the States, and they have collection periods when they bring the horses in and they look at their feet. And where some of the information about the whole barefoot ethos came from. The earliest study that I know was done by two people, Ovnicek, which was in the early 1980s, and in the early 1990s, a guy called Jamie Jackson. Jackson's in Nevada National Park, and Ovnicek did his study in Wyoming and a place called Lovell, which is a collection centre, and wild animals or wild equines from various terrains and environments get brought into that centre. They had horses from a variety of terrains and environments, but what they did see was that with self-exfoliation there were some standard parts about where breakover occurred, heel height, that was common in every single type of environment. It was just a different way that they actually wore their feet out. In the harsh terrain environment of the decomposing granite shale rock, they would round off every single piece of foot on the bottom of their foot, and they would have a nice, compact, very mechanically sound foot. In the wetter plains areas, the horse's feet would grow longer, they would develop fissures or cracks, vertical running cracks around the foot, and eventually pieces would tear off. But when they were torn off, they would tear off pretty much the same sort of design and shape as the ones from the harsh terrain environment. And so we gained some information from these various people about what a natural horse's foot should look like. Now, I'm not suggesting that we make the mistake of trying to make our domestic horses' feet look the same as horses from a self-maintaining environment, because our domestic horses aren't privileged to that environment anyway. However, we can utilise some of the information that we've got from that and use that on the horses that we have without any footwear on in our domestic environment. We found that to be useful to us, and how we design their feet, how we remove distortions from their feet, and also other parts of the whole barefoot thing is that diet of the modern horse has been changed substantially, and I think we need to get back to a more natural diet for them, even though they're living in a domestic environment. Seems the most successful animals that I've found that can work on almost any terrain without any footwear on have a great diet, and people have spent a considerable amount of time and money analysing all their feeds, the work programs they have, the different substrate they're working on, and so these animals can develop a tougher, more normal foot just purely from their diet and environment. Also, I do know that if you don't trim these horses very regularly, 3 to 4 weeks, then you start to get distortions in the feet, and the feet then start to break up, and the horses struggle more because their feet aren't tough enough to sustain the workload that they're on.